By the end of today's event, hopefully, we will have found a way to chart a path towards a sustainable clean air in Rivers State. We hope that we will be able to explore, to learn, and to adopt best practices and policies to reduce air pollution in Rivers State. Hopefully by the time we are back here again, maybe in the next 4 years, we will have air that is clean enough that we can properly cheer for the Super Eagles, and maybe they will get past the group stages. Okay, so before we start, please indulge us as we take an opening prayer. I'd like to invite Professor Giadom to lead us with the opening prayer. Oh, okay, Professor Fake?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Please put your hands together for him as he comes forward.
Please, shall we pray? We can stand up, please. Thank you. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for today. Thank you for giving us life. Thank you for the way you have led us to this place. We know that there are others we are also expecting, and we know that the way you brought us, you are going to bring them safely too. We commit today into your hand. And ask Father, Lord, that all we're going to discuss here will lead to better environment. To the glory of your name, we pray in Jesus' name.
Amen. To open things officially, I would like to invite the chairman of CIDI Trust Fund, Honorable Uche Onyagocha. He has some words to officially open this ceremony. Put your hands together for him, please.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Before us is going to be a photograph, but I believe that at the end of the day we should be able to achieve something reasonable. Unlike the master of ceremony or lady of ceremony, with due respect, I don't expect that we'll be meeting in the next 4 years. I expect that we are going to have to meet many more times so that we'll be able to achieve our desired target. CIDI Trust is a trust, it's an organic trust that is managed by TrustAfrica, and with emphasis on environmental justice issues. And we believe that part of what is going on in Port Harcourt, a lot of it started with the organic struggles for environmental justice. Before now, the attitude has always been to fight for clean environment within the oil sector. And a lot of people felt they were not concerned by it, because if you are not living in the oil producing areas or any of the areas that are directly impacted by oil production, you will feel that you're not concerned. But now that it has come to air, I am sure that everybody feels concerned, because it impacts on everybody, irrespective of where you are and irrespective of whether you're from an oil-producing area or not. Since 2016, when this issue, we're going to share the ideas that will come and the true questions that will help us bind the process together to bring about a sustainable approach to resolving this problem. Once again, I welcome you. Thank you, and enjoy the wonderful deliberation.
So, we cannot be having a summit in Port Harcourt and the whole of Port Harcourt at least will not know that something like this is going on. So how many of us are on Twitter or Facebook? I'm on Twitter, raise your hands. Facebook, raise your hands. Okay, so just do us a favor, as this event is going on, just tweet, put up a Facebook post, put up a WhatsApp story, use the hashtag CleanAirPH. Do it right now, bring your phone out right now and do it right now. Hashtag CleanAirPH. As the event goes on, as the summit goes on, and someone says something you find very interesting, someone has a question that you feel Port Harcourt needs to hear, River State needs to hear, tweet it, put it up on your Facebook, put it up on your WhatsApp story, use the hashtag CleanAirPH, one word, CleanAirPH, already here. So first up, from the Center for Peace Development and Child Welfare, please welcome Mr. Inemo Somiyama. for his goodwill message. Put your hands together for him, please.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name, she didn't do too badly pronouncing my name. The first name was okay. It's Inema. The surname is Samiyama. And I'm from Bayelsa. And it gives me real pleasure to stand here today to talk to you about clean hair. Clean hair in Port Harcourt. But not just Port Harcourt, clean hair in the Niger Delta, clean hair in Nigeria. I've been privileged in the past 15 years to have been involved in environmental issues, advocacy campaigns, focused on things like oil spills and gas flaring in the Niger Delta. And of course, I've been very much concerned about the problems of the SOOT in Port Harcourt. And I joined all those who felt concerned enough to go out into the streets to demonstrate and protest that something should be done about the problem of the SOOT in Port Harcourt. Now, that is something that is very, very, very visible. So I think CSOs and others can look at the options. Legal action being taken against those that are making the environment so unhealthy for us to live in. Finally, in a lot of countries abroad, when you drive down the street, you see all sorts of instruments. They're hanging on the street lights, and these instruments measure in real time the air in those environments. I don't think that these are things that are unaffordable for a state like Port Harcourt or Yenagoa. I mean, these states can afford these instruments. You just buy them up, train people to be able to read the data that they bring, but we need data. We need real information that is reliable, information that can help us to know actually the depth of the problem that we are dealing with. So I think data collection, real-time data collection, is about time. In all these months, no, it's more than months now, the Port Harcourt SOOT problem, I've still not seen these instruments hanging along the streets, taking real-time information about the state of the air around us. I think it's about time we start seeing these instruments. I repeat, they are everywhere across the world. To take real-time data and provide reliable information that we can use for advocacy, that we can use to back up our campaigns, that we can use as proof, evidence of the real state of the environment that we live in. I repeat myself one more time, clean air is a basic fundamental human right, and we are doing the right thing by coming together, gathering here today to talk about this. Let's continue to do so. Thank you very much.
Up next, we will be talking to a representative for Reverend Father Edward Obi. He is from the National Coalition on Gas Flaring and Oil Spills in the Niger Delta. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Dr. Benjamin Ublele.
I think as far as the environment is concerned, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. I have already been introduced, so I will go straight to the business of the day. But before I do that, I want to sincerely say that Reverend Father Edward Obi, the National Coordinator of NAVON, will have been here in person, but currently he is not in the country. So he has asked me to deliver a speech he has written himself. So this I'm going to read from what he has written. Goodwill message from the National Coordinator, National Coalition on Gas Flaring and Oil Spills in the Niger Delta, NAGO, on the occasion of Clean Air Summit in Port Harcourt. Thank you. Having said that, I just want to make a few comments before I leave here. The SOOT situation in Port Harcourt is something that is very, very disturbing to all of us. I was a participant in the last Stop the SOOT campaign that we came out to take the campaign to the government. To be very, very honest, the approach, the way the government is going about it, I don't think we should be satisfied with it. SOOT is no respecter of anybody. All of us are directly involved in the impact of this SOOT. That is why we have to drum it so hard at this point. Tweeting is not enough. Facebook is not enough for us to do this thing. We have to carry this message beyond these channels. The truth is that how many of them have access to these things that we are talking about? We have to get to the level that we have to tell the government of the day, whether in River State or the federal government, whoever is responsible, that we must put an end to this thing. We know where these things are coming from. We already know the sources where they are coming from. What we need to do is to be more proactive about it so that we can live happily and go about our normal businesses the way we are supposed to do. They too are not spared from what is going on in the city. So I encourage us to keep doing what we are doing and carry the message beyond these frontiers so that we can breathe fresh air in the city of Port Harcourt for ourselves, for our children, and we leave that legacy when we leave the stage. Thank you.
All right, so may we please welcome as well from the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency, NOSDRA, Dr. Kenneth Arrow. He also has a goodwill message. Put your hands together for him, please.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I'm Dr. Kenneth Arrow. I'm actually representing the zonal head, NOSDRA Port Harcourt. The zonal head could not be here because of another parallel assignment that he's handling at the moment. Please accept his apologies. So I want to align myself with the first speaker, looking at the topic of the summit today, which is the Clean Air Summit. I think it's just, apart from potable water that we know that United Nations has actually seen as a human right, clean water is also one. I want to align myself with that. And then also to state that since 2016, when this issue came up, that residents of Port Harcourt and its environs actually have been grappling with not only the environmental aspect of this issue, but also the health implications. Because from studies so far carried out, it actually has seen that those people that are already having some health issues are already getting closer to their graves as fast as possible, because you have the short-term effect of this, you have the long-term effect. Now, those that are already having existing health issues are also progressing to the very terminal part of it, and even death associated with it. So it is a very serious issue in the environment, especially as it pertains to residents of Port Harcourt. And NOSDRA, as a responsible organization, is actually taking necessary steps to ensure that we take all that we can, the necessary steps that we need to take in order to even stop some of these sources that we've already identified. So NOSDRA, the little message that we have here is that NOSDRA is actually committed in making sure that it participates in whatever steps that will be taken from any organization in order to ensure that we bring this menace to a halt. So that is just what we can say for now. while we continue to collaborate with all concerned in order to ensure that we make the air in Port Harcourt not only clean, but sustainable. Thank you very much.
All right, we have more messages coming. This next one's from the representative from the National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency, Mrs. Alapiki Ernest. I apologize if I murdered that name as well. Please put your hands together for her.
Thank you for pronouncing that name the way it is. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. What a coincidence that I'm coming right behind my sister agency, Nostra. My name is Alobeki Ernest Fidelia, the State Coordinator, Rivers State Field Office of the National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency, NESRIA. And I bring you warm greetings from the DG of my agency, Dr. Lawrence Anokam, and the Director of the South-South Zone, Mr. Ralph Nam. I want to start by thanking the organizers of this summit for adding us to today's program, and especially for a goodwill message. Thank you so much. The pervasive air pollution in Port Harcourt and environs has become a growing topical issue. The federal government is very concerned about the growing incidence of air pollution, and it is aware of its responsibility to protect the environment and human health. Several meetings and awareness creation activities have been carried out by NESRIA, and most recent of this is the one-day roundtable meeting on pollution episode in Port Harcourt and environs on the 26th of April 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, we have gathered here to discuss a serious environmental problem of our time, which can have far-reaching consequences on our social, economic, health, and environmental status. This gathering should not be one to blame anybody or to pass the buck, but let it be one to proffer solutions to protect our people and the environment. Once again, I want to sincerely express my appreciation to the organizers of this summit. I wish us all fruitful deliberations. Thank you, and God bless.
All right, let's move on and take that paper presentation from Dr. Ferdinand Giadom. Put your hands together for him, please.
I would like to also especially recognize the presence of Professors Enubi Akokuje, Professor Ranime Pakai, and Professor Precious Ede. These are the academic giants on whose shoulders I have stood over the years. I'm encouraged by their presence, and I know that if there are difficult questions that arise out of what I will say, you shoot it to them. They will generally bail me out. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is a real honor and privilege to stand before you here today to share with you things that you already know, but maybe presented in some slants that will try to depict the crisis situation in which we are in, and also to spark up some thinking and some discussions amongst ourselves, amongst the various stakeholders, in order to find a solution to the problem of air pollution in Port Harcourt and Rivers State. Next slide. And I will start with a quotation from Scripture. And that Abraham looked down on the city and saw dense smoke over the city, like smoke from the furnace. And so was Sodom and Gomorrah destroyed. You can find the details of that in Genesis chapter 9, verse 28. The picture that you see is a picture of a crude oil bearing vessel that was set ablaze on the Boulder Creek in April 2018, 2 months ago. This is one of the latest episodes of these events that have come to be almost like a daily occurrence in different parts of the state, which is an anomaly, because normally it used to be this amount. And constant record keeping and bring these same records to the public domain. And there should be a focal point that coordinates and collects this information and makes them public, so that at times of air quality emergencies, as we've had, we can now trace cause and effect. And these are the things that people connect to. When you tell them that in a clinic such as this, we've had these cases of respiratory ailments, we've had this number of stillbirths, we've had this number of heart attacks, all related to this, it makes it more resounding. But if you say that there are suits that we will clean and then we can repaint our houses, people don't seem to really know what's happening to them. And when people see these things, they can connect to it and make them to also seek Medicare. Because things are happening to people they don't understand, and they end up in churches saying that it's not a hospital matter. But these are the things that we feel that opening these discussions will actually bring to the fore. Last slide. So, in conclusion, I said that the present air pollution situation in Port Harcourt metropolis and surrounding towns calls for positive action on the part of government, academia, civil society, corporate organizations, all and sundry. No one is exempt. We should all rise from here to say that we say no to this continuous fumigation of our daily existence. We have all been slowly poisoned, and the consequences of this will certainly manifest in the forms and magnitudes that we have not yet contemplated far into the future. A continuation of the present levels of air pollution within the city and other parts of the state is a sure recipe for rapid deterioration in not only the quality of life, but also can lead to serious compromise in aesthetics of our surroundings. We should all rise as one to stop these suits and to demand cleaner and safer air. Next slide. Well, here ends my epistle. Thank you very much.
So please, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Honorable Muke Anucha.
Honorable Uche Ayabacha, the Director, Zonal Director of DPR, you're welcome, sir. The Executive Director of CIDI and other members responsible for this summit, members of the press. I want to start by referring to your first paragraph of your invite, and I quote, "It is our esteemed pleasure to invite you to give a goodwill message and to participate at the one-day Clean Air Summit in Port Harcourt. The summit's objectives are to create and build a template for systematic, coordinated, result-oriented, science-based approach to dealing with the SOOT issue in Rivers State. Explore, learn, and adopt best practices and policies that will reduce air pollution by outlining the many ways in which cities can move in directions of more sustainable way of living and ensure the support and buy-in of critical stakeholders to addressing and resolving the issue of black soot in Rivers State on Port. On this note, I want to sincerely thank you, the organizers of this all-important summit, and to say that in 2016, when the suit was first noticed, some of us thought it may be a natural occurrence. Not until the committee set up by the Rivers State government came out with the nature and sources of the suit. According to the committee, the sources include tire burning at slaughterhouses and for business. 2, emissions from vehicles and generators. 3, company operational upset resulting in bad gas flare. 4, illegal refining of petroleum products and the destruction of seized petroleum products by the security agencies. In the same vein, the technical committee set up by the Port Harcourt Air Quality Monitoring Group, made up of Shell, AGI, TOTO, NNPC, R&D, and some other companies in the state, came up with the same results. Just as football unites us all, the fight against SOOT should as well unite us. I wish to, in the same vein, express my gratitude to members of the Port Harcourt Air Quality Monitoring Group who have decided to meet every month as to find solution to the SOOT problem. In a special way, I thank everyone out there that is doing one thing or the other as to ensure we enjoy quality air, especially members of the Stop the SOOT campaign. For you all here gathered, thank you and may God bless us all.
Please put your hands together. Thank you.
A keynote speech delivered by Honorable Ayako Christian, a member representing Port Niger Constituency 1 in Rivers State House of Assembly and Chair House Committee on Environment on the one-day Clean Air Summit holding at Ekan Terrace Hotel, 12B Apache Road, Port Harcourt. This occasion of one-day Clean Air Summit holding in Port Harcourt City is indeed very significant and monumental as it will serve. This summit, as good as it is, shall remain evergreen if the hard truth is mentioned and issues therefrom dispassionately discussed, giving rise to a communique. I think that will be the deliverable at the end of this summit. I want to thank you for giving me your audience and also for listening. Thank you, and I wish you a very successful summit.
So I'd like to invite the moderator for our panel. We have a panel discussion that will look at the perspectives of experts on the threat of SOOT in Port Harcourt. And Mr. Chris Newsom, who is the policy advisor for the Stakeholders Democracy Network, STN, will be moderating this panel. Put your hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen. Alongside him on this panel are Constance Meju from the Kebekachi Women and Development Resource Center. Put your hands together for her. Professor Precious Ede from the Institute of Geoscience and Space Technology in Rivers State University. Put your hands together for him. Also on the panel is the Zonal Operations Controller of the Department of Petroleum Resources, Port Harcourt, Dr. J.I. Frank Briggs. He's also on this panel.
It's a little bit on this spot. Perhaps going from the furthest end to the closest with Dr. Briggs.
Just asking what you think the lessons that we can learn from the last 2 years are, and you can feel free to choose whether it's a certain area, whether you want to zero in on the public discourse or on the science or any other area of concern, and just see what we can gather in the way of lessons from the three of you that we think we can apply to the next session as we get into the discussion of a little bit of a roadmap on what to do. So,
lessons we have learned so far?
Lessons we've learned so far in terms of not so much just what has happened, but what we can learn from the efforts that have been made over the last 2 years to engage with this issue, and what we might need to change tack on or scale up.
So my take is that going forward, we should be able to mobilize the local government people, the chiefs, the youth council, the youth bodies. Everybody should be aware of what is happening in the society, not just the elite. And in telling these people about this, they should be told about the implication, the health implication of this black suit, the environmental damage that's being done to the environment.
In my introductory economics class in secondary school, one of the first lessons I was taught was the demand and supply. The lesson I will feel that we are learning from this is that there is incessant scarcity of petroleum products in the Niger Delta and Nigeria Sea. Many speakers today have pointed to the fact that the artisanal refiners are probably contributors to the black suit, if not the most important. What can we do to flood the market with the right products that are refined using appropriate technology in designated refinery, whether modular or the large-scale one, the type we have in Port Harcourt? There should be an effort to see that petroleum product scarcity does not occur. Even as we speak now, there is no genuine kerosene sold anywhere in Port Harcourt, at least where I live. I don't know about the rest of Nigeria.
So if Niger Delta is the seat of the finance of the nation, the health of the Niger Delta should also be a priority for the federal government.
I think you have said it all. But I also want to stress the fact that the media, being responsible for agenda setting, should take it up. And the government, at least the state government, should be able to know how to sponsor it. Because once we have this, set the agenda to sensitize people, both locally, nationally, and perhaps internationally, it will keep the federal government uncomfortable. And I think that's the way to do it.
We're asking for a reconstitution of security architecture, whereby it must include the EFCC, and there must be a provision of the bonded tank farm and a bonded jetty. You do not arrest a man with exhibit and destroy it. How do you prosecute him? Yes, so you keep emulating, and that committee, the security committee, must include the state government, the Auditor General's office, and NOSDRA, and DPR. Immediately there's a seizure, the fingerprint is established, NOSDRA establishes where the typical spill site has taken place, and liability is placed immediately, and the product is taken to the tank farm. On the matter being determined in court, the product is sent back, the vessels are auctioned, and the funds are sent to state. It ensures that round-tripping, which currently happens, does not happen. All the cases, the past 10 years that we handed to the EFCC, we have seen no conviction. We can't account for the exhibits that have been seized. Yes, and there's been no form of regulation in terms of how destruction takes place. We're even aware that those destroyed are those who have refused to settle. Oh, yes. Yes, so these are the things we need to do. We don't have enough time, but in writing we'll be able to accomplish it. Before Sandra beats me up. Thank you.
Now, the final people who will be telling us what they recommend and what their action points are
are the people who are supposed to come up with innovative tools, platforms for stakeholders engagement on SOOT management, led by Mr. Tunde Bello.
All right. Good afternoon. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Okay. Having identified different stakeholders, we actually divided the stakeholders into two. The government and the people, of course, with the SOOT in the middle of these two stakeholders. First and foremost, we looked at how we've been doing or reporting and managing the issue of the SOOT currently. And of course, based on that, we now have to look at innovative ways and platforms. And one of them is first and foremost the data collection system. We feel that because there are no fact-based data, scientific-based data, it seems the problem is still ongoing. So that in itself is a platform and tool to use for the engagement of different stakeholders. Of course, training of personnel involved in the whole process. Personnel involved in the whole process, the JTF, the civil defense corps, the people even doing the artisanal refineries. We feel that if proper training can be given to these people, I think it's going to be a platform for people to actually appreciate the fact that though there is an implication of this, there is also a social and economic benefit of this SOOT if it can be captured. For example, the gas flaring, if it can be captured, if people can do the processes to be more and become cleaner and better way of processing it. Thank you very much. This is what we have.
Please welcome one more time to give his closing remarks the chairman for Kisi Trust Fund, Honorable Uche Onyagocha.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and all the stakeholders for coming to this point. I am sure that you all appreciate that there is an urgent need for the work we have done already. But more importantly, I like the passion of Ebel and the Bello. And I think that passion of Ebel and Bello should be the same kind of passion that we all should have for the purpose of having now in place a coalition on clean air in River State. We should also grow larger to become a coalition on clean air in Nigeria. Because when the moderator or Madam MC said that we'll be having another summit 4 years after, I said, oh my goodness, that's too far away. But thank God we know that we are going to have to do something, many more things before the end of the year. And I am sure that PC Trust and the SOOT, Stop the SOOT campaign should be able to come together and make everyone understand that we need quick action, and all the areas through which we can achieve visit targets, we should pursue them aggressively. And every other sector or stakeholder who should be present and who couldn't come today, we have a responsibility to reach each and every one of them, to get them on board what we are doing so that we can make more progress in this. I thank the professors, I thank the academicians, I thank the other stakeholders, and I thank the man in Navy, because I like his white on white.
Like your own.
Well, his own has got big. I don't have big on mine. I wish our air can be as clean as his white. That's the beauty of it. And I believe that at the end of the day, if we're able to achieve this, the beauty of clean air is that, or bad air, is that it doesn't respect any stakeholder. Whether you are in government or you are out of government, whether you are rich or whether you are poor, everybody is going to be impacted on equally. So there is every need therefore for us to achieve the target. I thank you once again for staying till the end of this program. It's not always you have a program like this that you have people stay till the end. And please don't be angry with the government officials for living the way they did. What we should do actually is that at the end of the day, we gather all that we have done and still find a way to send it across to them, to say this is finally what we agreed. You never know when you become a government official and you will not be able to stay till the end like they have demanded to go. So don't be too harsh on them. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, sir. So we have lunch, it's ready. I hope you have your coupon. My name is Sandra Ezebesli. Thank you so much for coming out and enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best.